John, also on top of the news that Villanova will name Kevin Willard as its new head coach. Willard creating waves at Maryland over the last week, casting doubt about his potential future with the Terps right there on the tournament podium. Kind of awkward for everybody. Now he returns to the Big East. He had spent 12 years at Seton Hall, now tries to turn around a Villanova program that hasn't made the tournament since our own Jay Wright stepped down following the 2022 season. John, I'll ask you in a moment, but Chris, as one of our resident Wildcats, dissect this hire for us. Why does it make sense?
I mean, I think it's a quality hire. I mean, they wanted to get an established head coach. And, you know, obviously Kyle Neptune was a very good friend of mine, and I hated to see it not work out for him. But now, that aside, moving on, Villanova has extremely high expectations. You mentioned Jay Wright and the level of expectation that he set, you know, and they want to duplicate that. Hey, you know what? John Shire did a great job succeeding Mike Krzyzewski. We want the same thing at Villanova, right? I believe that we were close to or on the cusp, and I still believe one of the best programs all time in the history of the NCAA as far as success. And started from Rolly Massimino to Steve Lapis to Jay Wright, and now Kevin Willard has an opportunity. And listen, this is not an easy job, you know, and he was at Seton Hall. Now he's got all the tools, right? You got the keys to the Ferrari.
Yes.
This is not, you know, again, this is the Ferrari here, right? It moves fast, and there's a lot of expectation, and I think Kevin can meet those expectations, and we're excited.
And just in the background, John, was Villanova after anybody else and didn't get that coach, and so then they ended up in this long, drawn-out wait for Kevin Willard?
Yeah, this is what happened. You know, 2 weeks ago on Selection Sunday, I reported that Maryland was working on a contract extension to present to Kevin Willard that would make him one of the top 10 highest-paid coaches in college basketball. Kevin Willard received that term sheet, and then right after, his AD, Damon Evans, opted to take the head coaching job at SMU. That sent things into a frenzy. Kevin Willard was near the top of Villanova's desired wish list for the entirety of this process. What started to happen as things started to play out in the media was one of the main reasons why Kevin Willard was so attracted to the opportunity to coach and lead Villanova's program was because of the NIL opportunities that Villanova's commitment to men's basketball as a Big East school moving forward in this new landscape can provide. The last couple of days, according to many people I spoke to, one of the main things that Kevin Willard was wrestling with when Maryland was trying to do everything it could to keep him as the Terps head coach, including offering him a deal that would pay him over $5 million annually, was at the end of the day now, you need a certain number for your budget to put together a team that's capable of going far in the NCAA tournament and potentially going to a Final Four, winning a national championship. And in this new landscape, as of now, because things are always changing, the ceiling and the commitment financially is significantly more at Villanova than it was at Maryland.
I know that that's the case for Big East schools going forward because of the revenue sharing model and spreading it out.
Yes.
But what about at Big East schools like Villanova who do have football? Because the other Big East schools...
There's not the commitment. I talked to several people at Villanova this week who assured me, and they weren't like looking at a list and had the numbers, but they said Villanova's commitment and what it has spent the last couple of years and what it will spend moving forward will be competitive with the top programs in the country for what it's going to take to get Villanova back to the national level. And look, I want to say this again, and I said it, you know, earlier in the week, I'm going to say it again. Yeah. The standard that Jay Wright set his last 10 years, from the start of the 2013-14 season to when he retired in 2022, cannot be the standard for Kevin Willard as the next head coach of Villanova. The standard, if you look at Villanova, should be to make the NCAA tournament every single year and then obviously be in position to make big runs. Now, you look at the history of this program, Rolly Massimino won a national championship in 1985, went to several Elite Eights, but he won the national championship as an 8 seed. Our colleague Steve Lapis had great teams in the mid-1990s. You look, won the Big East tournament in 1995. 3 seed in 95, 3 seed in 96, also was a 4 seed in 97. Jay Wright's last 10 years cannot be the barometer for this team. You can't compare what he did his last 10 years moving forward. But Villanova, especially with a capable coach like Kevin Willard now as the steward of this program, should now aim to be an NCAA tournament team every single year.
Well, the bar's been lowered because of the last 3 years.
Yes.
So now Kevin Willard's coming in at a point where, you know, when he starts getting them to the NCAA tournament again, competing at a high level in the Big East, I think it's a really good hire. I really do. He has experience in the Big East. I'm excited for Villanova fans. Maybe V's will be up again.
V's have always been up, Wally. Keep that in front.
Yeah, I just have this question, right? Like you're often finding the up and coming guys going to the bigger programs.
Yeah.
I get Kevin Willard had success at Seton Hall to a large extent, but then, you know, if Derek Queen's called for a travel or the shot doesn't go in, they're losing to Colorado State, and he doesn't have his players are much better than Colorado
That's how it works. That's how this business
I know.
it just works. It's crazy.
Andy Enfield in 2013 thought that he was going to have a chance to get Old Dominion. He won 2 games in the tournament. He went from Florida Gulf Coast to USC. It has something to do with it. I hear what you're saying. I also
there wasn't anybody
the
better.
experiment with the up-and-coming coach didn't work for the last 3 years.
I mean, he was a head coach in the Big East for 12 years.
And also
Yes.
won a Big East. And look, I don't want to
stabilizer
disparage.
and not a risk.
I don't want to disparage Seton Hall, but the resources that he's going to have at Villanova are going to be exponentially better than the resources at Seton Hall. And here's another thing.
we've seen that. We saw that play out.
No, and here's another thing.
With
Let me
St.
just
John's
finish.
and Rick Pitino saying that about Richmond.
This is a major step for Villanova because this is the first hire since Rolly Massimino in the early 70s that did not have a tie to Villanova's program.
Yes.
Steve Lapis was an assistant. Jay Wright was an assistant. Kyle Neptune had an assistant. So that's a big step. Another thing that's amazing. You look, there's 11 Big East coaches right now. 2 of the head coaches were Rick Pitino disciples, Kevin Willard and Richard Pitino. So now you have 2 people who were tied to Rick Pitino coaching the Big East, who won the Big East this year.
Let me just say this. You say the bar has been lowered, and you say that no one can duplicate it. Trust me, the people with their V's up, we want duplication.
Yeah.
We're not selling for that.
No question.
We're on our way to being a blue blood.
Chris.
We're a new blood. We want duplication. And the guy sitting in 43 right now that helped make the hire wants duplication as well.
Okay, I'm just saying this. Jay Wright's last 10 years, 2014 2 seed, 2015 1
You can
seed,
spout it all
2016
out.
national
We want
title,
it back.
2017 1 seed, 2018 national title, 2019 losing the round of 30 to Purdue, 2020 there is no NCAA tournament, 2021 Sweet 16 without Congo Gillespie.
We want it all
2022
back.
Final Four.
How about
We
the
want it
players?
all back.
Think about that.
Jalen Brown,
Think about
Josh
just
Hart.
think about that.